Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast, the show you need to listen to for your monthly insight into the many wide worlds of geek culture. I'm your host, Carroll, and the world is on fire, but GBG stands tall as a bastion of truth and information. So, joining me on this quarantined episode of this fine show is the one and only former host of GBG, Ron E. Diaz.
The world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it, so I never get bored. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now,
you're a rock star. Okay. Settle down there. Settle down there, Guy Fieri. Anyway, also joining us for making her podcast debut, she's the one, the only, Nina.
Hello. How y'all doing? The world is on fire.
The world is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn.
Well, global warming's gonna take care of that fire any, midday now.
Damn, I hate that.
Yeah, depression dab.
So yeah, trust me, we know everything sucks. But
we don't want to talk about it.
We don't. We're just gonna try and make a show to maybe take your mind off this for an hour, or maybe 50 minutes if I decide to talk about Broly again. So first of all, let's start off with oh, did you hear that? Sound the alarm! Boo 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 boo! That's the Fallout 76 dumpster fire alert. Because we have more fucking travesties to report about Fallout 76. To be honest, as a service in terms of providing news, this game might be the best thing that's ever happened to GBG. Because we haven't covered nearly everything.
Remember when we were adverse to putting Fallout 76 because we were there was maybe too much, and now it's just free content.
It's just I don't know where we'd be without it, to be honest with you.
It's free real estate.
It is free. It's free real estate for this shitty game. Oh my god. But I think the actual news about this broke only 2 days ago by the time that this show is being recorded. So I assume news comes out every 2 days, but this is your news for your Fallout 76 craving for this month. So previously over in the land down under of Australia, EB Games has been denying people refunds on Fallout 76 because people tried to get refunds, but what happened was apparently there was some misleading information in there. When they said that there were refunds being offered when they weren't. So when people tried to refund their games, they're like, yeah, we don't want this either. So the Australian Competition Consumer Commission has decreed that they have to issue refunds. But hilariously, actually, said Australian Competition and Consumer Commission is also owned by GameStop, one of EB Games' biggest competitors. So thank you, fuck you, bye.
Damn.
Guys, just to make the game free already. Just make it free to play. Just fucking do it. It's probably the best plan. You know, Rift? I think Rift was a pay to play at some point. It probably went. I think it went free to play anyway. MMOs go free to play all the time. This is just a Fallout MMO that it sucks, but you can make it free to play and maybe make your money back. Just do it. Just make it free to play. Stop being stupid.
I think this game is still technically profitable, but it's just funny.
I don't know, man. How many, we've had one every, 2 weeks. One issue every 2 weeks.
Oh, I see what it was. So the issue was EB Games had said consumers, they were like, hey, can we get a refund on this game? When they were like, oh, have you experienced a glitch in this game? And they were like, yes. Oh, we're not taking it then. And the game was Fallout 76.
Wait, did they pull the product's busted, we can't take it back?
Yes!
Fuck you!
Fuck this!
It's so awesome. It's so awesome. Can you imagine that being the case for them being like, it's like that time that I went to GameStop and tried to trade my Wii U in to try to get credit for a Switch. And on their website, it said that they would give me $40 for it. But in the end, they tried to give me $8.
Oh, fucking stuff.
It's because it's like they were like, well, first, it's not a perfect condition, so we'll have to refurbish it. So that's $20. Oh, and the card, the card has a little the cord that you plug it into, has a little bend on it, so that's another $12. So that's sorry.
That's how they get you with those. Your shit
also
has to be.
Also, fun stuff. The other cord, like the HDMI, they were looking at the HDMI cable, but the power cable also had some fraying on the end of it. Not bad at all, still totally usable. But it was bent a little bit, and so I wonder if they had seen that. They're like, actually, that's another $12, so you have to pay us $2 in order to take this from you. I think it was funny. If anything, it put off getting my Switch for a while, but I have it now, as I'll discuss later. But yeah, so EB Games was literally trying to say, this shit broke, we don't want no mo.
What the fuck?
And I find that really amusing, because you can't say with a game like Fallout 76, yeah, we'll take it if you had a flawless experience. That doesn't fucking exist. I low-key, I've never had any interest in Fallout before, but I low-key want to buy this game now.
Don't do it.
Just because of in payback for the services that it's provided us here at Geeks by Gaslight.
By Gaslight Fallout 76 server.
Oh man. So anything else you guys want to say about the further disaster of Fallout 76?
Just fucking make it free to play already. Jesus Christ.
I never played Fallout, so I know nothing what's happening, but fuck this though.
So based. It's so based. I love this game. Okay, moving on. Sony had its state of play recently. I'm the only one here who's seen it. Because I had nothing on that day, but it was basically just a really cool in-depth special on Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima.
It's Ghost of Tsushima.
Of Tsushima, yeah.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Disappointingly, no actual ghosts.
Not yet.
I guess not yet. But I think the ghost is like the name of is like the title of the main character. He earns like the name the Ghost. And it seemed this game seemed pretty cool. Reminded me a lot of Assassin's Creed when I was watching it. Because of maybe that's just being like a pseudo, like mostly open world action game.
This is Ubisoft's, right?
Maybe it might be. But just generally, it just reminded me a bit of Assassin's Creed, just because of you can call your horse to you at any time, which is like what I did when I think I talked about this on the podcast. I might not have talked about it on the podcast, but I played the the only Assassin's Creed game I played was Origins, and I had a fucking blast with that game. It's not what I would call. It wasn't like my favorite game ever, but I was a really big fan of the ancient Egyptian setting. And part of the ways I endlessly entertained myself is I would put my character in ridiculously precarious situations, and then see what would happen when I tried to call my camel to me. Because it's just the AI would just run fucking roughshod and just run all over the place everywhere. I had the option later to get like a horse that would be faster, but I was like, no, fuck you, camel. And so this game reminded me in a lot of ways of that. But it's got some cool like armor, and it's got some cool vibes, and the combat looks pretty cool because it's, you know, again, similar to Assassin's Creed, sort of like the stealth-based gameplay of it, because you're this sort of like sneaky samurai, which is sort of combining samurai and ninja history, but fuck it, it's okay, it's a video game.
Isn't there no health bar in the game?
I
remember hearing something about that.
I don't think I really noticed one. It seemed the combat seemed sort of like inspired by a lot of, and some of the visuals of the game too were inspired by a lot of old school samurai movies. And so I think that there was like a bit where like one hit to you does a shitload of damage, because definitely the main character was taking out most of the mooks in this game with just one hit. And so there might be I didn't really see him get hit very much in like the demo that they showed. So I don't know. But one of the cool parts about it is that there is an option to play the game, even though it's an American game, to play it in Japanese with English subtitles. And even there's a mode to turn off the color so it looks like an old black and white samurai movie. Which is kind of based, and if I was gonna buy this game and play it, that's how I would want to play. Fucking Japanese subtitles, black and white. Fuck yeah.
Oh right, there's filters.
Yeah, it's super dope. The photo options look pretty sick. If you're really into that sort of thing, which I know a lot of people aren't. But yeah, it seems like a pretty cool open world stealth-based action game. As I've said many times, similar in a lot of ways to Assassin's Creed. But like the good parts of Assassin's Creed, not like the fucking shitty stuff. So that's sort of generally what I thought of it. Not typically my kind of game, but it looks cool. It looks pretty dope, actually. So yeah, anything you guys want to say about Ghost of Tsushima?
I'm excited for it. Or I guess I shouldn't say excited, because I guess excited is too strong of a word. I'm intrigued. I really should watch the state of play myself, right?
Right.
Because this, I like old samurai settings, and this has a tone that I think will very much interest me.
Yeah.
I just need to look more into the game, and I really hope that it does do well, because we still, even though we got the state of play, it still sounds like we don't know really too much about it. It sounds like the state of play was a lot of game mechanic stuff rather than any actual plot stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping what we get is super interesting, because it from a mechanical standpoint, it sounds super interesting with what they're trying to do, and even the fact that they're letting you fuck with how you experience the game through these filters and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be a very interesting release for, is it this year or next year? I think it's this year.
It's this year. It's actually in 2 months.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very interesting release.
Yeah. Oh, and it's made by Sucker Punch, and published by Sony. So.
Oh yeah, Sucker. Okay, yeah, that's all right. I thought Ubisoft, for some reason, but right, I forgot this was a Sucker Punch thing because this is, mind you, for Sucker Punch, this is way out of left field. This is not normal Sucker Punch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also what's going to make this interesting because it's Sucker Punch doing something that is normally not within their wheelhouse. Because I don't know if you're familiar with Sucker Punch's work, but they have done the Sly Cooper games.
Oh,
that was them. That was them. So this is really, like, as I said, out of left field. This feels more like something Naughty Dog would do, but it's Sucker Punch. As I said, Sucker Punch doing this makes it really interesting. And as I said again and again, this is going to be a very interesting release for 2019. 2020. Wow.
2019. Dude, I wish I could still say it was 2019. Take me back, please.
That'll cost you $2,000 and like half your soul.
There'd be no more coronavirus.
Well, no, it'd still be there.
Rioting.
You would still, there would still be there. It's just won't happen at the moment.
Yes.
So, like, here's what you're essentially asking for. You're asking to experience all of this all over again.
No, maybe just 2019 forever. I mean, that sucks because 2019 wasn't a good year, but it'd probably be better than this.
Probably.
Broadcasting live GG from the apocalypse. Anyway, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima looks interesting. So we'll, I guess maybe if something else comes up, we'll talk more about that later. But that's it for general news. Sorry, there's not a ton that's been happening, due to the Rona.
Wait, Snyder Cut release.
Oh, Snyder Cut! We're fucking stupid! Oh, these idiots! Okay, change your plans. We're talking about the fucking Snyder Cut. God damn it! Okay. I so wish you hadn't reminded me of this dumb bullshit. Okay, so if you're not aware, basically crying fanboys have been sad that ever since fucking 2017 or whenever the fuck the Justice League movie came out, or 2019. I don't know when that fucking
18. I think it's 2018.
It feels like fucking forever ago. Anyway, the most boring Justice League movie you could have possibly made came out. A bunch of fanboys have been gathering together in their collective whinging, declaring that in unison that they must release the Snyder Cut, which is apparently a thing that existed because while it is true that Zack Snyder filmed a lot of his movie the Justice League movie before he was taken off the project, due to a combination of the studio not liking the direction that he was going in and a very unfortunate personal tragedy. But so then after that, Warner threw a shitload of money at Joss Whedon to be like, fucking fix it, please. You made Avengers, help. And he did his best, but they had to get the movie out. So the movie, you can even see it in the trailers that there's like a bunch of shit that wasn't in the original, that was in the trailers and stuff. Like the iconic Cyborg line, "You should probably move." So basically people have been whinging that the movie sucked and that they think that this mythical Snyder Cut's going to be any better.
Man, no, they're not thinking that. They're going, no, I don't want this Snyder Cut. I want the real Snyder Cut edited by Snyder himself, which will never exist because he's not a fucking editor. He's a director. You stupid bitches.
Okay, I mean, some people can edit. I don't know if Zack Snyder's able to do that.
I mean, like, even still, you're not in charge of editing the whole, like, movie that you directed.
Yeah, of course not. Of course fucking not. But, like, That's the thing about this, is that, like, you do realize that millions of dollars were poured into the special effects of the movie, and that a lot of the other shit from the quote-unquote Snyder Cut will be unfinished.
Yeah.
And so unless they want to spend millions of more dollars to put this out on their fucking streaming service, then I don't know what to tell you. They might do that. They might just do that to get people to shut the fuck up.
Honestly,
I wouldn't be surprised.
This whole Snyder Cut situation is really me thinking about that one Always Sunny clip where Dennis is driving the car and he's just like, "You stupid bitch."
Oh, it is. You're right. You know what the worst part about this is? It's giving the Snyder Cut people exactly what they fucking want. They realize if they whinge enough, if they bitch and moan enough, they'll get their fucking shit. They'll get their fucking baby bottle fed to them, and then they can get a really bad Zack Snyder movie.
Sucks.
Have you seen the multitude of release the blank cuts that have happened since? It's not even that in DC, because remember Suicide Squad had a bunch of reshoots, so now people are saying #release the Ayer cut so we can get fucking 20 more minutes of Joker in that movie.
I don't want 20 more minutes of Joker in that movie. I want 0 minutes of Joker in that movie.
Fucking God.
I want the movie. I want the next cut of Suicide Squad to actually make me forget about the minutes of Joker from the first viewing I had of Suicide Squad. I want it to refund me my brain cells.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. We might have to do a GBG watches the Snyder Cut special thing. Do like we've never done like a commentary track before, but we might have to.
Oh my God! Don't do
I'm
that,
down.
Dre. Don't do that, Dre.
I'm down.
Don't do that, Dre. You're gonna make Dre lose at least 2 brain cells.
Because can you imagine how much longer that this cut is going to be?
God,
it's gonna be like 2.5 hours. Fucking like no.
Was the original Justice League?
It was like I think it was like under 2 hours.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't very. No one fucking remembers anything about that movie because that movie's so forgettable.
Well, I mean, I never watched it.
Okay, no, because they did a bunch of reshoots. They're like, let's not make this thing. Although, admittedly, maybe they'll have more time to work on the CG of Henry Cavill's mustache.
Maybe
they won't. They won't.
I think I'd almost dislike it more if they fixed it and made it look good. Because I think part of it being awesome is that it was fucking disgusting to look at.
Okay. Actually, you know what? It will never be the real Snyder Cut unless they keep the mustache in.
No, they can't.
Unless
keep the
they never CG out the mustache.
No, come on.
No.
Superman just has a mustache?
Yeah, he just has a mustache. Nobody questions it. Nobody says anything. It's Henry Cavill's mustache. Never gone from the movie.
God, that
That'd
shit
be
sucks so much.
Question.
Because they're just gonna, like original in like the actual Justice. Nina, you saw the movie, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
You remember in the original part of the Justice League movie, in Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, basically the entire Superman's entire deal was that he was a Jesus metaphor.
He was. It sucked.
It sucked. And in the last one, in Batman v Superman, they killed him off. They killed Superman because they were doing Death of Superman. But obviously, if they want to make the Jesus metaphor, you then have to do the resurrection, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But then they did some dumb sci-fi bullshit where they revived Superman, and they're like, if you put the thing in here, and it'll shock him, and then he'll come back to life, and then he didn't remember, and then he fucked off into a cornfield for a while, and then he came back.
Yep.
And then there's a scene where he just beats the ever-living shit out of all other members of the Justice League. Fuck this movie. This isn't going to be good. We've talked for too long about this.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
This will be my legacy. I will just come in and I will say, "Remember the Snyder."
I don't want to remember the Snyder Cut. There shouldn't be one. Be one.
That will be $20 to forget the Snyder.
Anyway, moving on from that to something only slightly better than the Snyder Cut. Ronny's Ramble!
Hey! I will release the Ronny cut.
Release the Ronny cut. Hashtag release the Ronny cut.
Hashtag release the Ronny cut.
Ronny,
What will be your cut?
there should be an episode of GB. Every episode of GBG should have a version of it edited by Ronny, and that's the Ronny cut.
The Ronny cut.
Or an episode where Ronny dubs over what everyone else said, so it's just Ronny talking to Ronny, and it's edited by Ronny, and that's the Ronny cut.
April Fool's 2020.
Or
2021.
We might have to do that. We might have to do a Ronny only episode.
The Ronny cut.
It's
just you guys record a podcast and then I word for word start fucking saying everything.
Oh, let's do it. Anyway, Ronny's Rambles is coming at you right now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ronny's Rambles, in which we ramble about things. And this week I have brought to you another top 10 list, voiced by me, written by me, edited by Carroll. And it is about something that I have recently gotten into during these quarantine times, and that is VTubers. For those uninitiated, VTubers are just live streamers who have a live 2D anime avatar as their sort of camera, I guess. Yeah. So I brought to you the top 10 VTubers that I enjoy. Number 10, Roa. Roa, I've recently gotten into. I haven't seen much of her. She's absolutely adorable, but at the same time, not super my kind of streamer that I watch, which is why she's so low. Number 9, Ayame Nakari. Sort of the same thing with Roa. Absolutely adorable, but not the kind of content I usually watch. And also, she only gets above Roa because her avatar looks like Tomoe Gozen. That's it. Number 8, Marine. I love the pirate motif. She's funny, but I haven't seen enough of her yet. Just currently getting into it. Number 7, Pecora. I've been watching more of Pecora recently. She is just a goddamn Looney Tunes character, and I think that's super fun. As I said, I'm getting more into her stuff. That's why she's so low, but she makes it at a solid number 7. Number 6, Suisei. I mainly watch her Tetris stuff. She's ridiculously good at that game. I've also seen some of her idol singing. It's honestly very, very cool. But it's honestly anything from 6 and above is just sort of but when we start getting to 5 to 1, that's when we start getting into people I care about. Number 5, Matsuri. She is just fucking a wild card in this list. Matsuri's always got some hijinks going on, and it's always fun to see. Not super my content, but when it's someone that you can't predict, you can't help but watch. Number 4, Kiryu Koko. Same thing. She is just the Eric Andre of Hololive, and it's amazing. Number 3, Korone. Korone is just super happy, energetic, and fun to watch just because of how lively they are. Number 2, Belmont Banderas. The only male VTuber on this list, but god damn it, Belmont is a magnificent bastard who plays Fate Grand Order. Also, he's just really chill. All of his streams are really chill, and it's just really seems like a really cool guy. And number 1, Hanamakiya, because honestly, if you notice, yeah, I put a lot of excitable people, but the number 2 are generally more chill vibe people, just because I like putting them on after a busy day and just listen. And Hanamakiya definitely fits that, while also playing Doom. So this is the content that I enjoy. Relaxation and murder. Anyway, that has been the top 10 for this week. That has been Ronny's Rambles. I will see you all next time. And that was the Ronny cut.
Oh! Whoa! Damn. All right, I guess welcome back from the nightmare of living in Ronnie's world.
It's my world, and you're the ones living in it.
But moving on from that, to slightly less Ronnie, but only slightly. Our favorite segment, recommendations. Where each of us brings something we either like or don't like, or just we get to chill anything that we want, which is what we love. So, Ronnie, why don't you kick us off? What did you bring to the podcast this month?
Phantasy Star Online 2! Okay, no, but look. So, there's a little bit of history behind me in this game. Just a very small amount. And it actually ties into the greater history of the game. So,
okay, weave the origin story to us.
Oh, okay. So basically, I was a young high school boy, the young Ronnie, beardless, sauceless, paperless.
I miss beardless Ronnie.
Beardless Ronnie, man.
You're never gonna see beardless Ronnie ever again.
Damn.
He's dead now. Anyway, and I had been searching for MMOs to play because I used to play a lot of MMOs because I was a very, very lonely person. Anyway, so I was looking for MMOs to play. I hear about this one called Phantasy Star Online 2, huge in Japan. Was apparently coming to North America. Mind you, this said at that time it was around 2013-ish, and it said it was supposed to come to America in 2012. It never did. It cut to 8 years later. Actually, I think 6, 7 years later. E3, Phantasy Star Online 2 finally gets a release in the West after almost a decade on PC and Xbox One. And here's the thing about the game. The game is free. That's amazing. It has a lot of cosmetic stuff locked behind scratcher tickets. So essentially loot boxes, but I don't really care too much.
Bro, it's just cosmetic. It's just cosmetic, dude. It's just cosmetic.
I mean, it's like, honestly, I don't like, you know when most people say, oh, it's just cosmetic, and people are just like, fine, whatever. I still don't, like, sometimes I can forgive just cosmetic shit because they give it to you sometimes for free, right? No. They don't even give you it for free.
Oh,
you don't get free scratcher tickets. You just fucking like have to cop up cash, and I'm like, that sucks. I don't like that. But as for the game itself, it's a very different MMO to what I've played. It's a more action-based MMO where rather than you still have like a set of hotkeys, right? But it's more action-based. The class I chose is called Braver, which is in between sort of an archer and a swordsman.
Right.
Each class has three different weapons they can utilize, and as a Braver, I am able to utilize a bow, a gunblade, and a katana. So it encourages you to switch up your playstyles with not only those three weapons that you're able to use for your class, but also because it lets you freely change what class you're playing as. You can
I was going to ask that. Okay.
Yeah, you can just go up to the class counter and like change your class, and it'll keep tracking all the stats for the different classes that you're playing. So if you
Can you mix and match like kind of classes that you're playing? Because like in a game I played a while ago that I talked about on the podcast called Bravely Default.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know what it is. It was in an RPG where basically the gimmick of the system was that there were like a bunch of these classes, and you had to level up one class, but like what you're describing, you could sort of freely change your class at will.
Mm-hmm.
Not in battle, of course. But also you could double class your characters so that like you had like access to two sets of class abilities at once. And then based on your class, and the class, like the main class that you have, it affects like your weapons and shit, and like your bonuses and stuff like that. Is it kind of like that?
I haven't meddled with subclassing yet, but I do recall like hearing that you can subclass because you can also put skill points into the various classes to up certain things, and I think you are able to like mix and match with that. You can't, you can't you can't be one class and use weapons of a different class, but you can pick up a bunch of weapons from different classes. Because as I'm playing Braver and like going throughout all these, I should also note it's interesting because there's not like a giant open world like in most MMOs. You're actually really confined to the main hub, which is like it's mainly just a bunch of shops and everything. And then when you actually go to the quest counter, you get to explore these like mini dungeons and shit. And as you're exploring the mini dungeons, enemies will drop weapons and stuff from different classes. So you can like start already, like if you plan on playing other classes, you can start collecting for those too.
Yeah. And
there's also not really an armor system. There's like I guess armor pieces sort of, which are just like they're kind of accessory things, but they do boost stats and stuff like that. But it's not like you're worrying too much about your equipment. You're of course
What's the setting?
The setting? So it's a sort of sci-fi scenario. There's like androids, you explore different planets.
Based.
Yeah. So the premise of the game is sort of that there's this plague, like this naturally occurring plague.
God damn it! I can't get away.
But like the organization that you're a part of, called the Arcs, uses photon technology to like cure it, and you guys are like the only ones who actually know how to cure it.
Oh, okay.
So you're kind of going on operations, trying to, suppress as much of
technology.
Yep.
Photons is just light. It's just like what's in light, right? So basically what you're doing is you're shining a flashlight on coronavirus and it's going away.
Yes. That is essentially what you are doing, except with more violence involved.
Okay. Just so long as we're all on the same page. I'm vibing.
That's pretty vibing.
Anyway, your whole mission is, at least, mind you, I'm at the early story parts where things haven't gotten super wild yet. Your whole mission is to go to all these different planets, try and suppress this like sort of, I guess plague really is like the best word to do it, because it infects creatures and stuff like that.
Almost like a pandemic.
Corrupts them. It's not that bad yet. But you go around suppressing them because you're the only that actually know how to do it. And also I will say this game has an interesting approach to doing the story too. It really feels like a single player game that just is always multiplayer, I guess, if that's a good way of putting it. Because how the story works is that you're not doing as I mentioned, there's no big open world, right?
Right.
You're not accepting a quest from an NPC, walking all the way over to the other area to where like another NPC is, talking to them and going back and forth, right? What you're doing is to experience the story. You go to the quest counter, you hit story quests, and you watch cutscenes. And then sometimes it'll ask you to do an expedition to just explore a dungeon and shit. Which is actually it's actually kind of refreshing, because it's like it's really not that like time consuming, and it's not really that like demanding. It just asks that you clear an expedition of this kind once, and You do have to grind for some of them. I'm currently grinding to be able to clear one, but it's, as I said, not that bad. There's just a bunch of other missions you can do that aren't story related.
Okay.
And it really just kind of like, it teaches you what you need to know, and then it just kind of puts you out there to do what you want. And not to mention, a lot of the classes are just interesting. There's, as I said, you can choose a race of androids, and they get their own like special clothing. I will say, I think I'm a little disappointed by just the race types, because it's all just some sort of offshoot of human, except for caste, which is like the androids.
Okay. So no, like, you can't play as like cool aliens.
Not really. From what I remember, from what I remember, looking at each race, it just kind of looked like an offshoot of human. And then but the classes are cool. You've got I mentioned Braver. There's Summoner. There's I think just a straight up Swordsman. I'm trying to remember all of it. There's like 7 classes. It's a good spread and variety. So there's a lot for you to play with. Not to mention, there's also cooking mechanics, gathering. There's a casino, and that casino is evil, I will say. Like, all casinos are evil, but this one's like evil. Because like you play the slot machine, right? But occasionally, if you get like a bad slot result, it'll have you play a minigame where you have to choose between like 3 options. And if one of them is 0%, and then the other is like a multiplier.
Okay.
If you hit the 0 multiplier, you lose everything that you made up to that point, and then you're booted out.
Fuck. Is this casino?
Yikes!
Is this casino
Yikes.
as evil, less evil, or more evil than the evil casino from the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief live action movie, where they all just sort of hang around, having fun in a casino for like 5 minutes, set to a Lady Gaga song?
Less evil, surprisingly.
Less evil, yeah. I think that's the most evil. I think that's the most evil that a casino could get.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. You got much more else to say on Phantasy Star Online?
No. It was my time with it has been fun. It feels very Sega, which is it's a very weird thing to say, but it's a very accurate thing to say. It feels very like 2000 Sega, and I really like dig it.
It's a Sega game?
Yeah, it's a Sega game.
Dope. All right. Sounds good. So Nina, what have you brought to recommendations?
So one of my recommendations, I guess, some of you, like both of you, might like or might not like. It really depends. But I watched an anime, or animu, as my own language, called Doro Hedoro. I don't know how to announce it. Hedoro. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It is a funny word. It's a funny word. I don't even know what it means. It's just a funny word. But this anime, so before I saw it, I have seen quite not a lot, but more. Been seeing more fan art and a few reference of it, and it looked alright. I thought it was gonna be like a fun anime that I would probably get less into it. I remember someone told me it's like Beastars, but fun. And yeah,
what?
Yeah, I'm not even joking. This actually happened. I was like, what? Are you sure? It doesn't even look like everyone's all animals. I think it's just one person. So I gave it a watch, and it was only for 12 episodes. And how do I feel about it? Well, yeah, it's really fun. It's kind of awesome too. The story is about this guy who has amnesia and has a half alligator head, I believe.
Holy
I think
fuck,
he's an
look at it.
alligator.
Look at this giant fucking lizard guy. This is awesome.
He's just trying to find out not only the real head, but who he is in the past. With the help of his partner, who's secretly a sorcerer, which is a really big deal in that world. Because it's all about sorcerers in it too. I think one of the few things, one of the biggest things I really like about this show is the characters. I think the characters are all really cool. What is it? Even the villains. I think the villains are really fun in this too. I don't normally remember most anime villains for some reason, but this is one of the few times I do remember the villains, because they had this really weird but kind of a colorful story. It's weird, but it's interesting. There's the main villain's whole freaking magic is a goddamn mushroom. He's just a really evil guy who just uses mushroom magic.
Dope.
Yeah, it's really what, but it's really cool though. The world, I mean, I really like the world. I'm kind of into this weird apocalyptic world that you wear masks. I don't know why. I just really like its fashion. I think you can do a lot of things with it. Which, yes, you do get to see a lot of masks in this too. There's even this one guy who wears a turkey.
Just on his head?
Turkey. Yeah.
Fuck me.
Why? I don't know, but it's really cool though. It's on Netflix if you're curious. The dub is good too. It's really fun. I think this is probably the best 2020 anime so far, since I don't really watch a lot of animes every year. I'm not too on track with what animes is on. I'm not that addicted, unless if I'm oh, okay, what's going on? But what? What's up?
Oh, I was gonna say, honestly, I haven't heard anything about this year's anime.
Yeah, there's only Tower of God, and then
okay, so the manga ran. The manga ran. Wow, the manga ran for a long time. It ran
did it?
all the way from it was originally published in '99, and it ran for this thing ran for almost 20 years.
Whoa, that's sick.
Wait, but there's only 23 volumes. What? Okay, I guess it was just a periodical thing.
I think it's it's one of those completed mangas.
Yeah, I think it's done.
Oh, that's really good, because I do like it when it just ends, it has its purpose instead of a really long episode. Huh?
Yeah, so there's 12 episodes and a few OVAs.
Oh,
so it's baller.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's brutal. It's pretty brutal on the first episode.
Okay. So I'm looking at, so there's some body horror and stuff in there.
Yeah, it's got some gores.
Yeah, I know you like that.
Oh yeah, I really like gore a lot. I totally love that stuff. I think one of my biggest problems, or at least my pet peeves, is while I don't mind they CGI the main character since he's like in a lizard, you know, it's kind of hard to animate a lizard or an animal. It's not that easy if you're just not used to that. But like I didn't mind that, but I mind everyone else that are humans. They kind of just like CG, but 2D at the same time. It's like on and off most of the time.
Okay.
It can be bothering, but I got used to it though. The animation is really good. I don't think it's like god tier. Like, I never seen Mob Psycho, but I hear it's like really good.
Oh man,
One
Mob
Punch Man's
Psycho.
animation is really good. Huh?
Oh, man, Mob Psycho's really good. I love Mob Psycho.
I never saw it, but I hear their animation is probably the most memorable thing about Mob.
Oh my
about
god,
it.
watch Mob Psycho.
Oh, all right. Oh,
It's
I'll give that a
so
watch.
good.
Okay, I'll give it a watch. But yeah, Doro Hedoro. All the characters are really fun. It's brutal. The world. It has a lot of demons involved, like a lot of Satan stuff.
Cool.
Which I never thought would happen. But it did, and yeah, it's on Netflix. The dub is good. 12 episodes, season 1. I hope it released season 2. Looking forward. Fun. It's a fun anime.
Holy fuck! I'm looking up like some pictures of the show. The art's super good, but holy fuck! I just found the guy with the turkey on his head, and this guy owns. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about him as a character, but he just like has like oven mitts on and like a giant turkey for a face. This guy he's living. I love this guy. What the fuck? This is so based.
Yeah, I totally recommend it if you guys are
Yeah.
like really bored. Really
Yeah,
bored.
I mean, we got fucking quarantine, so
We have time.
yeah. What the fuck else are we gonna do? All right, that's dope. I guess it's my turn to bring us home.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's start things off with something I sort of alluded to on in our last episode, where I talked about Pokemon Showdown, and I mentioned that I was getting Pokemon Shield in the mail soon, and that has since arrived. And I played it and beat it in about like 4 days. I kind of beasted that game. I could have done it faster, but I wanted to sleep. So no, and so I'm basically after that, I was sort of, because here's the thing with that game is that I wanted to play it, I really did, but it wasn't the game I really wanted, and the game I really, really wanted was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, because my first Pokemon game ever, and probably one of my favorite video games of all time, just like nostalgically, and just some shit that I can go back and play whenever I'm feeling, is Pokemon Pokemon Leaf Green. So the Gen 3 Kanto remakes are my shit. That was the first video game I ever had. And so I have a very I feel special connection with that sort of with like the Kanto area. Not necessarily like Gen 1 as a whole, because I don't really consider myself a Gen 1 because I started with fucking Gen 3. And like it's not so much like those games, because those games are very flawed, the original Pokemon games, but it's just like the setting and a lot of the Pokemon I really like. So Kanto has always held a very special place in my heart as a Pokemon fan. And so I'm for now I'm going to talk about both of those and where I feel their strengths and weaknesses were. So we'll start with Pokemon Sword and Shield, because that was the one that definitely, they're both sort of controversial games and almost black sheeps of the Pokemon franchise. I would say for very different reasons. Sword and Shield got off to a bumpy start in its development cycle, as we talked about on this show, with with of course the big what has been dubbed as Dexit, which is the removal of the national Pokedex, and every Pokemon from every generation.
And we're fine.
I was fine with it, just hearing about it. There are some exclusions that are real head scratchers, but for the most part, when I was going through it, when I first heard the news, I was like, there are some pretty shitty Pokemon out there that I won't miss, that you can just like dip, that you can just like get rid of. Like, is anyone gonna lose sleep over Luminion not being in the game, or Masquerain, or
yes.
Alomomola?
Man, you are just giving me nightmares.
Like, no, but just like, I feel like
no, we need Alomomola back in the fucking game. We need the name Alomomola in the file. That's why we need Alomomola back in.
But it's not Alomomola is not from Alola. It's not Alola. You know, why didn't we get Alola and Alomomola?
Because then it would be Alola.
Alola Mola.
Alola. Try saying that 5 times fast. Alola. Oh fuck.
Alola. You're done.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can do it. Just give me time.
So yeah, there were some like head scratchers that are being excluded, such as Garchomp, a bunch of all the legendaries, basically all of the old starters, other than Charizard. Hashtag blessed. I'm a Charizard fan. Oh, the perks that come with picking Charizard when you were a kid are unbelievable. So there were a lot of Pokemon that were sort of weird for them to exclude. Like I said, Metagross is another one that I was like, wait, Metagross didn't make it in. But there are a lot of super dope new Pokemon, like Coalossal, that one weird dragon type that's just a fucking skyscraper building. That thing's pretty dope.
What about Orbeetle?
Orbeetle's weird.
Orbeetle's awesome. It turns into a mecha.
It's pretty cool. That's all I want to say. My personal favorite Pokemon of the new generation is fucking. Oh, I love this thing so much. Oh, it's fucking Obstagoon. Okay. Obstagoon is the best thing that's ever happened to Pokemon in a long time, because it's
You mean Gene Simmons?
Yes, it's Gene Simmons, the Pokemon. Basically, what happened is that it's the evolved form of Alolan Zigzagoon. If you remember Zigzagoon, the fucking raccoon shit from Gen 3. Basically, they turned it into like a black and white, like skunk looking fucker, and then it evolves, and then it becomes a member of Kiss. And it's got the tongue. It's Gene Simmons.
It's just Gene Simmons.
So basically, so I started with Grookey, but my true starter, my true fucking like main Pokemon that I spent the most time with, was the highest level by the end of the game, and that I valued above all the others, was my fucking Obstagoon, and its name was the Goon. I just named it the Goon, and so I would just send the Goon out, and the Goon would kick the shit out of everybody. And I was like, once you have done it, you have been gooned.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love the Goon with all of my heart. It is my favorite. Definitely my favorite Pokemon of the region. Sword and Shield was fun. And I managed to get through it in a pretty short amount of time. But in the end, I don't feel like, while I really loved Pokebritain, I feel like there was a lot of narrative weight that was left on the table with some of the characters. Like the way that your story ends with your main rival was a little bit depressing that I thought it was a little bit sad that they didn't go with a more interesting story choice. But again, it is Pokemon, so you get what you pay for.
I don't know. I like the angle of the rival being so aware that they're like not beating you.
It was good, but like the thing I was sort of frustrated about with it was that it didn't seem to bother him enough.
That's true.
Like he never because like at the end of the game, you win, you get like the ringing endorsement from his brother, and like you're like the big hero guy, and like honestly, it felt like he should have you're that you basically stole your best friend's dream, and like he wasn't mad about it at all, and I thought that was weird. If they were going to do that story, I think they could have made the champion your brother, just to take a little bit of the sting off. But I get why they wouldn't want to do that.
I think, because I watched an entire playthrough of the game live just because like a friend was doing it and it was a Nuzlocke and I wanted to see them suffer.
Is this Cap?
No, it's not Cap. It's
Okay.
not Cap. It was someone else. I clipped every I wanted to see them suffer, and I clipped every KO on that Nuzlocke run.
Oof.
Yeah, but I was watching it, right, and just like I think it's clear that like your rival's upset, but I think they just don't make him upset enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an issue of like this. It would sting less if it was your brother. I think it's an issue of they just didn't make it sting enough. Because he gets upset, right? He gets upset,
and he gets annoyed that he's not getting the results that he wants.
But he doesn't like. It never feels like he's genuinely like frustrated.
No, there are times where it feels like he's genuinely frustrated, but at the end, I feel like that he should resent the main character, your character, a bit more.
Yeah,
like it doesn't like this giant existential crisis that you are causing in his life does not cause him to resent you at all, and I find that weird.
I actually they're trying to do this exact same, well, not exact same plot line, but they're trying to do the whole rival like begins resenting you thing in Pokemon Masters, and it's actually I like how they're doing that one.
Okay.
Just because you're not running into your rival all the time.
Right.
You're running into them progressively, right? And like,
Ronny, you're talking about gacha games on the podcast again. I'm going to have to shut you down.
Hey, no! You said I'm not allowed to talk about Fake Grand Order on the podcast. This is Pokemon Masters, bitch. We're in a new land.
Oh, God damn it.
Welcome to the Master Ball, motherfucker.
Oh boy.
Anyway, they're doing this sort of rival gets resents you by like the end of their arc sort of thing, and you're not running into your rival all the time, and you just kind of like see them progressively begin to resent you, and it's actually interesting in the way that they're doing it, because your rival is like, they're a nice guy, but they're also like, I'm going to try and like beat you all on my own, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm chilling with all like the league people, and
yeah.
In the most recent chapter, they had him team up with Wolfric and the one Elite Four member who was the knight from
Right, I remember that guy.
Yeah. And like they actually have him. I like what they did. It's still not like super great, but they made him like they had these two, I think they were both Elite Four members actually, like fight with him in a battle, and like he asked them for advice, and even after like they encourage him and everything, he's still like, I still lost. Like he puts on a brave face, and afterwards there's just like a moment where it's just him alone, and he's like, I still lost. Why am I not like? Why can't I beat him?
Yeah,
like they frame it differently, which adds a little bit more weight, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, and if for this, a lot of people have issues with the friendly rival trope, because rivals are fun when they're shitting on you and dunking on you, which I will admit. But if that's your jam, there is another character in this game that operates as sort of a secondary rival that is a total douche nozzle. And he's pretty fun. So you shouldn't feel too down about that if the friendly rival shtick isn't your jam. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. But here's the thing that I'm really excited to talk about is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Because as I said, I have a very, very strong connection with Kanto, and I wanted to play a Kanto game on the Switch. And this is a very, very, very good version of Kanto, but it's held back in some ways just by the the purpose of what it is, because what it is it was meant to tie in with Pokemon Go and bring some players who might have just liked Pokemon Go and gotten into Pokemon for the first time with Pokemon Go into the main series, which I was all for, because I when Pokemon Go was happening and taking over the world and everything, I was super excited just because of the fact that we were getting a lot of new people into the Pokemon fandom, and I don't think that's ever really a bad thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna and so the catching mechanic is very much more similar to Pokemon Go. You don't battle wild Pokemon. You only battle trainers, and you you just use the sort of Pokemon Go-esque catching mechanics for a bunch of other stuff. It takes a bit to get used to, and sometimes I still forget about it, and then I go to try to grind in a dungeon, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. You do get experience from catching things, but it makes Pokeballs a much harder resource to get. But honestly, the real selling point for this game is, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm about to drop one of the spiciest, hottest takes in the history of Geeks by Gaslight. None of this Guthrie's hot take shit. None of that. I'm about to drop a massive hot take. You ready for this? You ready?
Gacha games are good?
Yeah.
Never would that come out of my mouth. But get this. Pikachu is cute. Yeah. Drink it in. Okay, so the game has
Can I get a refund on this hot take? It came in cold.
Yeah, it's kind of cold.
Okay. No. So that was a meme. But so Pikachu. So the main selling point for this game is that there's basically a designated Pikachu cuddle feature. The Eevee, Let's Go Eevee has it too, so you can cuddle with Eevee too. You can go up to there's just like a button that you can press, and then you can you could pet Pikachu, and he's like, God, and he makes cute sounds, or in my case, she makes cute sounds because my Pikachu was a girl. And you can feed them berries, and you can run around. It's very similar to my favorite feature. It's like a more Pikachu specific thing to my favorite feature, actually, from Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is the camping mechanic. The camping mechanic was fucking awesome in Sword and Shield. I forgot to mention that, but I'll just go over it briefly. It was basically you could basically pitch a tent anywhere you wanted. And then you could let all your Pokemon out of their Pokeballs, and they'd run around and they'd play together, and you could they'd bat away a cat toy that you had in front of you, and you could throw a ball, and it was so fucking cute, and I loved it. Anyway, the camping mechanic was dope, and this is sort of like that, but more Pikachu specific. And I really liked it because as much as Pikachu is like a sort of corporate mascot, he's fucking cute, okay? Pikachu's adorable. And so you get to snuggle up with a little Pikachu. It's just fun. And sometimes if you haven't, you can you can tickle Pikachu and he laughs a bit, or you can bat his nose a little bit. And you can make Pikachu sneeze, and it's adorable because it's Pikachu. Huh?
Boo!
It was cute in the game.
Get off the stage!
No! Fuck you! Anyway, I was able to recreate my childhood Pokemon team, which I've been wanting to do in a main series Pokemon game for so long. And I finally got the chance to do it, and I feel complete. But there's also some dope stuff with the other Pokemon, because unlike other Pokemon games, there is no bike. There's no roller skates like in X and Y. Instead, they have completely revamped this feature into riding Pokemon everywhere. And because there's a much smaller cast of Pokemon, it's just the original 151 and the Pokemon Go tie-in Melmetal and Meltan, which I also got.
I kind of forgot those were like Pokemon.
They're pretty cool actually. Ash caught one in the anime.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was dope.
Was it useful?
I think so. He won. That was the region he won.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, wait. Side tangent. There was some fuckery going on with that win.
No, it was that win was fine. You're stingy.
No, okay. But like
I can rock sweet. What more do you want?
The Rowlet hoodie!
Rowlet? Did someone say Rowlet?
We can't say that's not like a little bull.
Maybe. I didn't mind it. I just finally glad they didn't cuck us again. Like they did in fucking X and Y.
Power cuck.
That was such a big cuck of all the fans, because everyone was so sure it was going to be our year, and then it wasn't.
No.
Well,
you finally got it.
We got it. We talked about that on our podcast a while ago. But anyway, you should play these games if you're a Pokemon fan. My biggest complaint with Let's Go Pikachu was the controls, because you cannot play unless you take your Switch out of the dock. You cannot play with two Joy-Cons. You can only play with one Joy-Con, which you get used to it after a while, but it still is a little bit odd. And I would have liked it's because they wanted to tie it into the fucking Pokeball Plus controller, which if you didn't know has one fucking button on it. Ridiculous that thing's a controller.
Use it for Smash.
Allegedly, we don't know yet, but we haven't tried. That's it for this episode of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Special thanks to our producers, Dre Best, Ronny Diaz, and Scott Heemscher for making the show possible. And a big thank you to Nina for coming on this episode. It was really last minute, and I just want to say thanks for stopping by and chatting with us. It was really good to have you.
Yeah, I hope I come by again. It was really fun the first time.
Yeah. Thanks to our lead editor, Guthrie Schooner, and thanks to Jack Wernemer for helping us design the thumbnail. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, follow us on Twitter, and join our Discord. The link to all that would be down in the description below, and be sure to keep it locked right here for brand new episodes of the Geeks by Gaslight Podcast every single goddamn month. But until then, take it easy, nerds.